Hi everyone, in this lesson I'm going to show you how you can easily play triad chord inversions all over the neck. Now if you're wondering what on earth are they, that sounds really complicated. All we're going to be doing is taking the chords you already know, picking them apart and giving you a load of different ways to play the same chord. So stay tuned and I'll show you in the lesson. So as I said, in this lesson, we're going to look at the chords that you potentially already know, picking them apart and creating what are known as triad inversions, or just basically small parts of the chords. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel and give us a like if you're enjoying the content in the video. So first things first, I'm going to quickly talk about what a triad is. A triad is 3 notes together. The 3 notes are our root, or our first, our third and our fifth. Now those numbers come from a scale, from the major scale. Now I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about the theory. If that's kind of blowing your brains a bit, still watch the rest of this video because you don't really have to understand the theory to get the concept of what we're going to look at. But certainly that is what a triad is: a root, a third and a fifth. In a minor triad we'd get a root, a flattened third, also known as a minor third and a fifth. In a major triad we would get a root, a major third and a fifth. So it's just 3 notes. Often when we play chords on guitar we get these big shapes like this where there's more than 3 notes, but normally what's happening in those chords is we're just doubling the same note in different octaves. So if I take the chord of C, we've got the same note in a few different places. So there's a C there and there's a C there, the same note twice, and there's an E there and with an open E string. So we're just basically getting the same note twice. Now what these triad inversions are doing is we're just literally going to play the 3 notes from the triad. But the great news is, if you know or you're familiar with the CADE system, or you can play some basic bar chords, the E root or the E shape, the A root or the A shape, and also the C shape chords, you already know all of these. So it's a nice easy way to do it, and that's what I want to do in this video, show you how you can play these easily so your brains are not blown by theory or anything like that. It's just a very simple way of playing these chords, different way of looking at them, and I'll show you then how you can use them when jamming. So let's just take our E shape or E root chord and we can play G. So in that chord we actually already have these triad shapes. So what we're going to do, we're just going to take the top 3 strings. So if I strip everything away, we just end up with this, and that is a triad shape. That's a triad chord, just like that, okay? And we're going to do the same thing then for the C shape. So the C shape as a G major would be like this. We're going to take everything away and just play the top 3 strings. And we're going to do the same then for the A shape. So the A shape up like this, we're going to take the top 3 strings and play them. And that gives us our 3 triad shapes along, just using the E, the B and the G strings. So there's our first one, coming from that chord, just the top 3 strings. The second one coming from that chord, the C shape, there it is. And then the final one from the A shape, this one. Okay? And that's literally all we are going to be doing, is just taking a group of 3 strings from the chords. Now the same exact thing works then if we take the B, the G and the D strings. So if I go back to the first chord we had, this time I'm going to take the B, the G and the D. Okay, so that would be it. So straight from that chord, and the next one, there's the chord, and the next one, so from the E shape, from the C shape, and from the A shape. And that's another group of triad chords. All the notes are the same, they're just in a different order. I'm not going to go into the theory, I'm just showing you the chords. So on the E, the B and the G we had, and then the D, the G and the B. Okay, and that's the triad shapes. We're just taking apart what we already know and creating these mini chords, or tops of the chords if you like. Same exact thing works for minor, and I'm not going to explain that. Have a little go. You can do exactly the same thing with all the minor chords. So then, how do we use that in a song? So let's say we had a song that went G, C and D. So G, C, and D. So rather than playing these big chords, I could use triad shapes, something like this. Started with G, then to C, and then to D. So that works much better when you're playing with drummer and with a band or jamming with another guitarist, because if they're playing something low, like certainly if you're with a bass player who's playing all low stuff and you're doing the high stuff, it's just going to really complement each other. Often when you're playing with other musicians, other band members, you don't want to be sort of fighting for the same space. So if another guitarist is playing along with you and they're doing this, you know, you don't really want to be playing the same thing. So using these triad shapes just really complement each other. Now that was using the G, the B, and the E. I could have done the same with the D, the G, and the B strings. Okay, I could have played that in a slightly different area of the neck using the same kind of thing. Okay, and there was the triad shapes, one from the C shape, then I did the C coming from the E shape, and then the D coming from the A shape. And you can do that for all of those bar chord shapes, you know. You just choose 3 strings that are next to each other like that, and you're creating these triad inversions. So give that a go. I'm not going to get too deep in the theory right now. I just want to have a go at that much. Just look at the E, the B, and the G as an isolated chord, and then do the same for the B, the G, and the D strings, and they're going to give you all of these different triad inversions all over the neck. As long as you know the cage system, or even if you don't, even if you just know this shape and this shape, that's still going to open up the fretboard and give you a lot of new chord inversions to have a go at. Okay, and that was how you can easily just take the stuff you already know, pick them apart, and create triad inversions for chords. If you don't already, please subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in another video soon.